But first, we're going into space. Have a look at my bracelet and see if you recognise it. Well, if you haven't guessed, I'll give you a clue. It's usually worn by space travellers of the future on board the famous spaceship, the Liberator. It's certainly no ordinary bracelet. In fact, it has some rather unusual powers.
You got it worked out yet?
Educated guesses, I can't be certain.
Now's the time to see how educated your guesses are.
I still think this is a stupid risk.
Which I'm taking. So let's get on with it. Give me 4 minutes. After that, start making educated guesses as to how to get me back again.
Good luck.
All right, Evan, let's get started.
Jenna, it appears to have worked.
And I'm sure all fans of the Blake 7 space adventure will remember when Blake tried out one of these bracelets for the very first time. And you saw that because of the cosmic link in between the bracelet and the Liberator, the crew could be transported off the spaceship and they could use this communication system to speak to the crew members left on board. All in all, a very ingenious idea. But the programme's producer, David Maloney, has received lots and lots of letters asking him how to make the bracelet. So he asked me if I could think up a do-it-yourself version that space fans could copy. Well, I have. In fact, I've got it here, and if you compare it with the original one, I think you'll agree they're almost identical. Well, I've made one of these for John and Pete, so if you'd like to see how they're made, I'll show you what to do. Just slip these bracelets off here. Now, the first thing you want for the bracelet is the actual base. It's made out of cardboard, and in fact, this is a piece I cut out an old cereal packet, and you want 2 strips, identical in size, and you want to stick them together like that because it makes it nice and strong. Now, as regards the size, you want it to be long enough so that when you curl it round, you've still got lots of room for your wrist to go in and out of, and also allow a couple of centimetres, because in order to join it, you're going to overlap it like that. I'm using some sticky tape there, but when you do it with glue because it makes it stronger. And there's the base of the bracelet. Now, for the outer covering, which is made, in fact, of plastic, a plastic bottle like that is ideal. And you want to use one raised bit and the 2 little ridges that run on either side of it. So you cut that out of a bottle and you end up with a piece that looks like that. Now then, the plastic bit is in fact a bit smaller than the cardboard bit, so it won't slip over. And the answer to that is you've got to snip it, like so. Now, you can slot that on like that. You see it fits perfectly well. In fact, it fits too well because it almost joins up there, and you don't want it to, because if you look at the finished one for a minute, you'll see that the all-important cosmic button is in fact sitting on the cardboard, not on the plastic. It's sort of slotted in there. So, you want to snip a little bit off this plastic. I would say about that much. That's it. Ooh, don't know where that went. And that gives you the right amount of room for the button to go. Right, well, the next thing you want to add is the microphone. This is the microphone that cosmic button controls, and I made the microphone out of, not a cosmic button, an ordinary button, the sort that you'd get on a cardigan or a blouse, only make sure this doesn't come off a cardigan or a blouse. Preferably you want a flat button. Most buttons have a little shank piece where the cotton goes through. If this is the case, then get a grown-up just to slice that off for you, because it can be a bit tricky. And then the button itself wants to slot inside the plastic. So at this stage, use your button as a pattern, and just a little bit away from where you've split the plastic, draw around the button, and then using the line that you've drawn as a guideline, cut out a circle, as I've done there, and you can sandpaper the edge of this circle, and also, while I remember it, sandpaper the sides here, because they can be a bit rough and they might catch you, so sandpaper those down nice and neatly. Well, the next thing to do is to join the plastic to the card, but because this plastic has got a slight ridge in it, as I said earlier, it's a bit difficult to get a good purchase and glue it, and I found the answer to this was a couple of little pieces of cardboard there, and you want to attach one piece underneath there. Again, I'm using some sticky tape. When you do it, glue is essential to make it nice and strong. Another piece of cardboard on the other side, and then you'll find when you come to join it together like that, you put some more glue there, pull it nice and tight, and that's it. Let's just get it nice and tight again. It's a bit springy, this plastic. There we are. Press it firmly into place, and with glue on, you'll find that gives you a nice firm finish. Right, that's the base of the bracelet completed. Doesn't look very much like a bracelet, but if you paint it with brown enamel paint, and it needs to be enamel because you're painting on plastic, it's beginning to really take shape. In fact, it's all ready now to add the decorations to it. Now then, first of all, you want to add the silvery bits of the decorations, and for this, I found some bits of silver foil were ideal. In fact, I found some silver sticky tape, which was perfect, but if you haven't got any of that, then some ordinary kitchen foil with glue will do just as well. That's the first bit gone on there. That's the background to the cosmic button. And then moving on around, let me just turn that the same way around like that. That's it. The next bit of decoration is a little square of silver, so that goes on there. Now, after the square of silver, you've got that writing, that very strange writing there, meant to be alien writing, so leave a bit of a space for that, and I'll come back to that in just a minute. And the next piece of decoration is a silver strip. So I'll put that on next. When you do it, take your time. As you can see, it's a little bit tricky. I got that on a bit wonkily. There we are, like that. And then the last bit of silver decoration is another silver strip, but this one in fact is slightly forked, so you can cut out the same shape again and stick that on like that. Now, as regards the writing, this strange alien writing, in fact this is painted on, and what you want to do is think of the letters U, I and C. And if you paint them on and then cut off a couple of corners or add a corner here and there to the letters, you'll get a very realistic effect. Now all there is left to add is the microphone button, and that, if you remember, was the button covered in silver foil. It slots into that hole that you cut very neatly, like that. And last but not least, the all-important cosmic button that makes the whole thing work. My cosmic button I made out of a piece of rubber. This one happened to be coloured a sort of pinky orange, which was very handy. If you can't get hold of one that's that colour, then an ordinary rubber or a piece of wood will do just as well. Cover it with some sweet paper, something like that, and it'll be very effective. Well, in fact, my Blake 7 bracelet doesn't have all the powers of the real thing. I think it's a jolly good copy, though. What do you think, Pete?
Well, seeing we haven't got the Liberator actually here in the studio, I think it works remarkably well, actually, Les.